Hello and welcome. For this first video, I'm going to walk you through installing AutoHotkey, Visual Studio Code, and setting up Visual Studio Code so that you're ready to start writing scripts. The first thing you'll need to do, of course, is open your preferred web browser, and then we're just going to do a quick search for AutoHotkey. The correct website to be going to is AutoHotkey.com. There are surely other places that you can download it from, but we want to make sure that we're getting it from the official source. Once you get to this page, you can see we have an option here to download. We're just going to go ahead and click on that. And it's going to ask us what version we want to use. As version 1.1 is now deprecated, we will be instead installing version 2. This is going to download the install executable. We're going to go ahead and open that file once it has installed, and we're going to install it. You can choose to install it for all users or just the current user. I'm going to go ahead and install it for all users. Alright, once that has been installed, we can go ahead and just minimize the AutoHotkey dash for now. We may come back to it later. Now let's go ahead and install Visual Studio Code. Alright, so this is produced by Microsoft. We're going to go ahead and just go straight to the official documentation link here, which again is code.visualstudio.com. And we're going to download this for Windows. It's going to download that executable. Once it finishes, we're going to launch it just like we did the previous one. We're going to accept the terms in the license agreement. Feel free to read it. I'm not going to. I personally like to have the open with code options in our context menus when we're looking at files and folders, so I am going to mark those, but you do not have to. Alright, now that it's finished, we're going to go ahead and leave it set to launch Visual Studio Code. We're going to get that pulled up. And the next thing we're going to do is install an extension for Visual Studio Code that will greatly improve your script writing experience. So we're going to click on extensions here on the side, and we're going to search for AutoHotkey. And we're going to be looking for a language support extension by somebody named Thickby. So we have found it right here. It's AutoHotkey V2 language support by Thickby. That is what we want to install. Alright, so now that we've got that installed, we can go ahead and go back over to our folder view, and we'll start writing our first script. For this very first script, just to make sure that everything is working and that we can see what the extension does, we're going to go ahead and save it first. So we're just going to save this file onto our desktop. I'm just going to name it script1.ahk. Now we can see that the icon has changed to being that AutoHotkey icon. So we know that it is set up and Visual Studio is recognizing that this is an AutoHotkey script. So now we're going to start. Since we are writing in version 2, and because of the way that the AutoHotkey interpreter can run both version 2 and version 1 scripts, we want to make sure that our script will be ran using version 2. To do this, we are going to write a requires line. So we're going to start by doing requires, and you can already see the extension kicking into place. So this is what the extension does. It picks up on what we're typing. It recognizes whether or not those are existing AutoHotkey features, and it will provide you information on those functions or other commands and directives. So requires, not type, AutoHotkey v2. And then the next thing we're going to do, just so we have some sort of visual output, is write a message box. This is going to create a little pop-up for us with a message. As we type this, you will again see the extension we installed working for us. So, message box, we can already see a couple options here. And now it also tells us what the parameters are for the message box and what it does. So as of right now, it's going to display the specified text in a small window containing one or more buttons. The first parameter, text, is a string, which we can see noted here. It is highlighted. That is the parameter we're on, and its type is a string. Strings must be included or surrounded in quotation marks. So we're going to type our quotation marks, and we're just going to do the most basic and common first script. Hello, world. We will now save our file and click the run button. And here we are. Hello world. It has a single button, our text message, and it also has the name of our script. Now that you've got everything installed, set up, and working, you get to start playing. I hope you have fun.